Oh yeah, baby. The kings of good time rock and roll. Paul Revere and the Raiders at number 5 on WJRD survey. Ups and downs. One of their lost 45s. Oh yes. Good thing. Hungry. Stepping out. Gosh, 1001 Arabian Nights, one of their more original cuts, Paul Revere and the Raiders. Now, here's the thing about, I want to go back, talk about the early history of Paul Revere and the Raiders real quick, a brief synopsis. Paul Revere was an enterprising businessman. He was a teenager. He was a barber. Then he opened a drive-in restaurant. This was in Idaho. And in 1959, he learned how to play the organ and the piano, and in 1959, Paul Revere formed a band called the Downbeats. He was 17 years old. Well, one day, a guy named Mark Lindsay stopped by Revere's drive-in restaurant. He was delivering some baked goods. He made a deal with Paul Revere. Mark Lindsay said that if he can play the saxophone, could he join Revere's band? And the answer was yes. Mark Lindsay bought an album by the Champs, and the Champs, the group that did Tequila, heavy sax sound. He learned how to play the sax by ear. And before long, Paul Revere, or Mark Lindsay rather, showed up at Paul Revere's door with his sax in hand and said, "I'm ready to play." So that's the interesting thing. Mark Lindsay rather, started out as a saxophone player. And Paul Revere and the Raiders, much later, he'd become the lead singer. To make a long story short, they transplanted the organ. They got a deal with Columbia Records. And here's an interesting note. Paul Revere and the Raiders were the first rock and roll band signed by Columbia Records. This was around 1963. It took them a couple of years to get a hit record, though. Dick Clark liked their sound. He put them on as a house band in one of his shows called Where the Action Is. Yes. And then Stepping Out came out, and Just Like Me. Oh, rock and roll. And now we come to Ups and Downs, man. Oh, Mark Lindsay could rock back in the day. Man, he got down. All right, Mark Lindsay and Paul Revere and the Raiders with Ups and Downs, number 5 on WJRD's survey the week of March 25th, 1967.